I think she's a great team leader. I feel for all the cast members to come together and have a good time, you need that one person to bring them together. Sure. I think Ananya did that because she was literally part of every scene. And there were times where she has shot with Gurfateh and Vihaan, and maybe I'm not there in the scene, but she made sure that everybody sits together and has a great time.
So inviting and pleasant and professional, and we get the scene done and she's always there. There's not a moment that she's like not there. And then once the scene is done, we go and sit on the side and we hang out, pull out our phones, then we're ready for the next shot and we're chit-chatting, and then it's just like it's very easy.
There's constant evolution in all her work, and there's always like a step up, and I also think she's the best of the new lot. So for me, that's the most enduring.
You know, I'm so grateful and honored to work with an actress at the top of her game right now. I think Ananya is having a moment, and to just be a filmmaker on her filmography. Like at this, in 2024, Call Me Bae comes directed by Collin, Dcunha. I think I'm extremely wonderful. She's a director's delight. I have never felt so much faith from a leading star, you know. I mean, she never made me feel like a newcomer, and completely surrender to the character in every way. You ask her to wear this, she will wear this. You ask her to come at this time, learn 8 pages of dialogue. I think for her, I think it was a new experience because she had so much to learn just in terms of volume. I think we know, I mean, I'm not mincing my words here when I say that a lot of Hindi film actresses spend a lot of time in their vans while they wait for the heroes to finish the scenes and then come in and, you know, act. But this was not her. She didn't get time to go back unless she had to go back and change. And I was like, you have to come because the other co-stars are ready. You have to go change and come back. But she was up for every challenge and she's wonderful.
Hey, it's me, Hrishikesh Kannan, popularly known as Hrishi K. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon now to get the latest videos and get taken into a world of entertainment, culture, sport, business and current affairs.
Guys, 6th of September on Prime Video. It's called Call Me Bae. Terrific show. Please go watch it. Every character is unique, and for me, Hrishi K, if you're watching, listening to this, you're going to thank me. Hi guys, great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Well.
Collin, I love that music is such an integral part of this show. The rap song Mumbai Hustle is a total slammer. I love that it comes when she's about to come and do the hustle in Bombay.
Yes.
There's a track that dropped today, which is a very Punjabi pop kind of track. And every episode seems to have its own unique sound. And it's crazy, man. I asked your record label for the credits, and I'm going, I know Lisa, she's in the show, and I know Rochak, and I know Jubin, but then everybody else, Danish Sood I know because we just did a chat, everybody else is, new, undiscovered indie talent, which is fabulous. So talk to me about that.
You know, I'm so glad you asked me this question because we've actually worked very hard on the album. And me along with my music supervisor Azim Dayani and his wonderful team, the team at Amazon, I had a very clear brief that I am getting a chance to direct my show as a debutant, whether it comes to acting talent or songwriting or musicians. I was like, we have to put indie artists at the forefront. Beautiful. And that was the thought behind it. And I was like, there is a certain temptation to go with bigger names, bigger singers to get traction, but I think it was very important to sort of integrate the songs with the storyline. That's a challenge in a show because you don't sort of break into a dance number, So what we tried to achieve was that if you listen to the album on its own, the jukebox, which will drop very soon, okay, you'll have a great time listening to it. It's a very complete, fun album to listen to. All bangers, heartbreak song, everything, But if you're watching the show, it's seamless. And I think it was very important to me that it's a very wholesome experience, this show.
So the songs just pop in? you know,
Yeah.
and then you realize it started.
Yeah.
As opposed to making time for it separately, which is quite nice. So who are these duo, Rue and Joe? You discovered them, or Azim discovered them and brought them to you? How did it go?
It's very interesting. So actually, the song there is a song called Yara Tere Bin, which Lisa has sung. Okay, and that's one of the first songs that we sort of locked for this album, and that was composed by Ruel and Joash Benedict, and they go by Rue and Joe.
Oh wow!
Interesting trivia: their dad is Vijay Benedict, who sang "I Am a Disco
Mithun
Dancer."
Chakrabarti, yeah.
Yes. So music nepo babies in a way, but but they're doing some wonderful work.
Yeah.
And because I loved their sound on that particular track, I said, guys, why don't you give the show a go? And I sort of sent them a couple of scenes and said, can you score this for me? Okay, and they scored the scenes, and I loved it. I loved their sound. They do a lot of harmonizing. It's a very different, like, so instead of using a lot of instruments, they're almost like these two choir boys who give it a really wholesome feel. So they've come on. This is, I think, their first fiction show that they've scored, and they're going to go a long way.
No, Collin, big ups to you, because Big Dogs, the song by Hanuman Kind, has just broken through. It's gone to the Billboard top 10 in the world. And this is a prime example of how a mainstream film house, which is a dharmatic, is going and saying, I will promote independent artists. There's a whole non-Bollywood world out there, and all of us here appreciate that.
Absolutely.
You know? So great stuff on that. I love how you're such a puppy in love with this show. And was that Collin's brief to you? Just be a puppy in love.
I think that's me.
I mean, you start off all macho and this and that, and then eventually it just becomes about, puppy love.
I think when I read for it, I thought of Prince as a typical, like, a Delhi guy, and like crude, and like Collin said, no, he's a very sweet guy. Like, just play along with it.
So you thought of Rocky in Rocky Aur Rani Ki Prem Kahani,
Yes.
but it's turned out very different.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's a very different take of a Delhi boy.
Yeah.
It's a Delhi boy in like hardcore love, that initial phase of infatuation. I think because Collin was there and he guided me through the whole journey, I think it came across very endearing and very sweet. So I'm glad that he guided me.
But it's more, Prince is more like Varun than you can imagine, So he is that guy. So even if he was trying to be someone else, I was like, no, please be yourself. It was actually one of the easier roles to cast for. Like Varun, I don't think I had an option B. It was Varun is playing Prince.
And I've seen your career graph, Vihaan, and I'm so happy to see that there's evolution every step of the way. This guy, at times you feel sorry for him. At times you feel he's a mean piece of shit. He's a privileged coot. But you've done it very beautifully. I mean, I've seen very little. But there is a particular scene when you're actually watching her take the piss out of Veer Das's character, and you're feeling pride, but you can't show the pride because the others will think, what an idiot, So there are small nuances to this character which are really, really wonderful. I'd like you to comment on that.
Well, I mean, thank you for the evolution comment. That's what I really, really hope to do. I can't plan too much about my career. It's what comes to me, but I like to say yes to things that really inspire me and change what people know me as, right? So this character was very different from the stuff I've played before, and I really appreciate Collin for seeing me in it, because it's easy to go off what I've done before and be like, no, maybe someone else. But he saw the audition and said, like, yeah, this is what I want, and full credit goes to him. And then also full credit goes to him when it comes to the scenes and how we're playing them, because we would have certain discussions about, okay, in this moment, what is he doing? And then we say, like, okay, let's have a thought. What if he is actually Collin would say, like, wait, but he's happy, but there's people around. So what will that play out like? So then we do a couple of takes and we pick the one that is the most like stark or the most subtle. I think in the earlier discussions with Collin, the main thing was having that balance of Agastya can't just seem like the bad guy. He can't just seem like a completely egoistic piece of...
You're right. I mean, he is an arrogant guy.
He is.
But you end up liking him.
He's extremely likable, and actually full props to Vihaan on that. He brings a certain ease and humor to the character and a sort of like poor little rich boy, he doesn't know better.
Correct.
You know, he's so privileged, he doesn't know better. And you know, you almost want to like him to realize that you cannot be speaking like this to people or to your own wife.
I think that was the main thing, because we all know people like this sometimes. I hope not, but we might all know people like this. And it's very important for me to humanize them, because if they're not humanized, then they just seem like a flyover character that you can just ignore. But if you humanize them, you pay more attention to what's actually happening. And then you understand more about Bay in the process, and then you understand more about the other characters in the process and what they give that he doesn't. So yeah, it was a balance.
Lovely. And as journalists, we meet you interview to interview. And I've always noticed that you are a man of few words. So, is that fair to say?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Fully.
And this was so nice and natural and fully in contrast to what Bay is. And you played that so beautifully, Gurfateh, because you know this guy likes this girl. I don't know what happens in the future in the other episodes, and I won't give spoilers, but you know that this guy likes this girl. But, you know, he's not going out of the way because that's not his style, you know. And there's a wonderful vada pav scene where you're introducing her to have vada pav, you know. Talk to me about scenes with Ananya and how did you have to read a lot? Did you do it on Zoom? Did you do it otherwise? Or did you just let it flow?
No, I mean, I read individually with Collin first. I think that was the first step. And then, of course, like Ananya, I knew of her before, and then she was actually the one who kind of like pushed me that, you know, you should test for this show, it's happening and I'm doing it and all that stuff. And then about those scenes, the vada pav scene or any of those scenes where I'm sort of falling for her, I think the only thing that I remembered was it's very different. It's not that out there a character where like any of the other characters, if I was playing or the ones that I've played, if the character does like someone, you know, you give the eyes or you give, it's very easy to catch on for the other character in the scene that, oh, this guy likes me. But I think in this one I had to underplay that a lot because you know, you have to let the story do that, and he's not one of those guys who will sort of say it out loud because he is underconfident until he comes into his own. So that was very interesting to play. And then the vada pav.
Talk about the vada pav scene.
The vada pav scene though is another
complete
story.
Reversal because he is playing a Bombay boy, introducing a Delhi girl to vada pav.
Vada pav, correct.
Wherein actually,
Where I am the Delhi boy who's never had a vada pav, and she introduced me to it.
Ananya is actually the Bombay girl, and you know, and he actually had never tasted a vada pav. I just assumed everyone had.
I had it before the scene, and she was like, "This is how you eat it," and then I teach her the same thing in the scene.
And he has to bite into a chili, and Gurfateh can't handle spice. So we are like now the ADs are figuring out what to do with the chili to make it less spicy for our hero. Supposed to like bite into it and say, you know, mirchi ke saath.
But that was a fun scene.
So Collin, I asked Ananya just now. I said, who did you model your character on? So she said, Collin. And she did a whole acting routine of how you would play Bay. And then she would latch on to it. So now I have to ask you, who you modeled.
You know, I have
this thing on. I mean, how many Bays do you know?
We all know Bays, I think. You know, we look at it. See, as a director, for me, actually, if you ask me right now, I could play every character. I have great fun. Also, I'm building that performance in my head. And as much as I want to let the actors do their thing, while directing, I'm actually trying for them to achieve what is in my head, you know. Now, I have a theory that Ananya used to just make me act in front of her, okay, for her own entertainment, okay, because she would just enjoy watching me be Bay, but actually she'll go and do everything herself. So it's just her saying that I am the unofficial Bay, but she used to make me act in front of her all the time. I think she's done such a wonderful job. I can't even like take 1% credit for that, honestly.
Let's talk about the writing room. I mean, there's Ishita Mohitra.
Yes.
Who are the other writers?
Samina Motlekar and Rohit Nair.
What was your brief to them? Build South Bombay, South Delhi life. Because it's. I don't know what your brief could have been, because on the face of it, it looks like a girl bonding thing, like 4 More Shots Please, which is on the same platform, so I can talk about it. But then you realize the guys are doing a lot.
Yeah,
you know. It's fantastic.
No,
So, what is your brief to the writing room?
So I mean, I have to clarify here that the way we work at Dharmatic, we have
First the script comes.
Absolutely,
Oh, wow.
absolutely. So there is a development team headed by Mr. Somen Mishra.
Okay.
A lot of the ideas come from Karan. We all brainstorm, and Call Me Bae is one of those marquee shows that we've been trying to make since Dharmatic came into being. And it was an idea about what happens when this girl goes from sort of riches to rags, and we just kept building on it. And then we have a wonderful development team even at Amazon that comes in, reads the scripts, and develops it even further. So Ishita and team did such a wonderful job that when I actually got the drafts, they were very well puckered
Wow.
scripts.
Wow.
Beautiful character arcs for everyone. I think I came in and we did one session of sort of just updating the pop culture references, making them more up to date, some logical like very, very, very like upar say. And then I would call up Ishita from set and say, listen, I think I want to change this. And she says, you know what, Collin, it's your baby now. Please go ahead and do what you want.
That's wonderful.
And I think I have that wonderful equation with her where she completely trusts me with her material. I know that I can build on it. And I hope I've done justice because she's a wonderful writer.
How did you manage to cast Veer Das and get him to come on set for a few days? He is so busy, man.
I have to...
And he's fantastic in the show. He's just fantastic.
I think he's a hoot, okay? I think he, if I can say so, has had a ball of a time, okay, for doing this role.
I love the news anchor not wearing pants.
Yeah.
And apparently they do that in the newsroom.
And I
Yeah,
thought
they
it
couldn't
was...
be bothered. They just put the coat on.
I thought it was funny, but they're like, this is actually what it is. But then he was not wearing any pants. He's wearing designer pants and he's wearing like designer slides. And so we went the whole way. But props to our casting director, Panchami Ghavri, obviously for putting together this cast. But for a very inspired choice in Veer Das, actually. I was looking at this character very, very differently. More sort of grey, black, but this sort of underlying humor that was there in the writing, but Veer just amped it. And he is outstanding. He joined us, like you said, he's extremely busy.
Yeah.
We had a table read, but he joined us on Zoom for the table read. But once he came on set, he was just so present, all there, inspiring, and just brought a whole new, like, fresh energy to the show. I would love for him to be with us because we would be having a blast right now, promoting it with him. But he has this wonderful life where he's entertaining people around the globe.
The world.
Yeah.
Correct. So you knew Ananya from before. Varun, was that the case, or did you?
No, I
get
knew
to
her from before.
You knew
I
her
met
from
her at
before.
a few parties.
Did you?
Yeah, we shot a movie before Call Me Bae and then started Call Me Bae.
Which one was that?
It's going to come out next
Oh, it's not out.
It's not out.
I was like, oh, what is it that I've missed? Okay. So all of you have this comfort level with her. So since she's Bae and Call Me Bae, what is her most endearing quality?
I think she's a great team leader. I feel for all the cast members to come together and have a good time, you need that one person to bring them together. I think Ananya did that because she was literally part of every scene. And there were times where she has shot with Gurfateh and Vihaan, and maybe I'm not there in the scene, but she made sure that everybody sits together and has a great time. So I think she's a great team leader who brought everybody together in terms of the cast and said, okay, we're all a family and we're going to have a good time.
Most endearing quality would be?
I think she's so inviting and pleasant and professional, and we get the scene done and she's always there. There's not a moment that she's like not there, and then once the scene is done, we go and sit on the side and we hang out and pull out our phones, then we're ready for the next shot and we're chit-chatting, and then it's just like it's very easy.
Gurfateh?
I think contrary to the whole debate of nepotism and all that stuff, there's constant evolution in all her work, and there's always like a step up. And I also think that she's the best of the new lot. So for me, that's the most enduring.
I love, Collin, that people will start watching that first episode going, oh, is she a bimbet? And as you discover more and more, you realize Bae is incredibly smart. Like in the scene when she comes and revamps his whole social media, revamps and says, we've got to change your look and this and that. Was that at the script level? That, you want people to kind of guess and then discover this girl?
Absolutely, but I think she's also graphed her performance
Yeah.
like that. We were very aware that, when we film, we don't film scenes in order.
Correct.
And in fact, the episode 1 is some of the last things that we shot because we were shooting in Delhi and everything. But kudos to her, and we were very clear between Ananya and me that this is how we want to graph the character. And if you follow her journey, which you will when you watch the show, you grow with her. It is a coming of age, and Mumbai throws at you everything, right? And you have to hustle and grow in the city, and there's no other way. You can't live in your bubble anymore. You have to sort of like come out of it and just surrender to the city and the hustle here. So I think Bay sort of epitomizes that as well.
And
even if it means eating carbs.
And Ananya's most endearing quality would be?
I'm so grateful and honored to work with an actress at the top of her game right now. I think Ananya is having a moment. And to just be a filmmaker on her filmography, like at this in 2024, Call Me Bay comes, directed by Collin Dcunha. I think I'm extremely wonderful. She's a director's delight. I have never felt so much faith from a leading star. She never made me feel like a newcomer, and completely surrendered to the character in every way. You ask her to wear this, she will wear this. You ask her to come at this time, learn 8 pages of dialogue. I think for her, I think it was a new experience because she had so much to learn just in terms of volume. I think we know, I'm not mincing my words here when I say that a lot of Hindi film actresses spend a lot of time in their vans while they wait for the heroes to finish the scenes and then come in and act. But this was not her. She didn't get time to go back unless she had to go back and change. And I was like, you have to come because the other co-stars are ready. You have to go change and come back. But she was up for every challenge, and she's wonderful.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Last question: who's the life of the party when you're not shooting?
Collin.
Colin and Varun.
Yes, I think all of us, we're actually quite the party bunch, if I may say so myself.
Yeah, that's true. We can't wait to party once the release.
We're just hoping a success, so this party is
Pushy
and not
post
done.
pack up, there was no time. You had to plan for the next day.
Web series shoots are very hectic. There's no time.
But you're not on location in this one, or you throughout in Bombay?
No, we were thrown
Bombay and Delhi, but there's no time to
There's
party.
no time
We
to
want to
party.
sleep and
But
come
we
back.
found our time like once in a month or something. One odd night.
That's wonderful. Guys, 6th of September. Remember, Call Me Bay on Prime Video. Wonderful ensemble cast and great music. Please go watch it. Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.